exclusive to LA, they have found their home there. There are more police chases in LA than there are in GTA 5. This fucking place breeds police chases. It has become like the #1 hobby people engage in there. I don't know if I've just been oblivious to how common this shit is, or if it's only been growing in popularity over the last few years, but I decided to look up some stats. And according to the most recent numbers I can find, in 2020, there are 2,200 police chases in LA alone for that year, which averages out to about 6 police chases per day. Now, I don't know if they were all streamed back then, but they are now. And thank heavens for that. I imagine whoever pitched that idea right now is being hoisted up on the shoulders of all of these news channel execs right now and just celebrated. Because this has become a huge source for viewership for them. The videos do extremely well in views, and the streams have massive viewership as well. So it's definitely generating big like revenue for these channels, I would guess. And it's also become a source of unforgettable goofiness in a lot of cases.
A northbound turn on Portland Avenue, another suspect jumping out, running for it. They're going to take him into custody in short order here, and the driver is continuing once again. So now 3 people have jumped out of this vehicle, and the driver continuing the pursuit.
Yeah, your eyes don't deceive you. This is a real human being, a living, breathing, sentient organism that actually tried the NPC strat, where he gets out of the car and pretends to just be a pedestrian. He actually went for some kind of Assassin's Creed tactic here to blend into the crowd. But there was no crowd and the police were right behind them, so they literally saw him leave the car. But god damn it, it was worth giving it a whirl. And we got to witness it live. This was a police chase from last night. Not only is it clearly entertaining for moments like this, but I legitimately do think it's actually valuable in terms of education. To teach people to never end up in situations like this. Watching the madness unfold live, I actually do think would have some people second-guessing bad decisions. But to dive a bit deeper, the footage we just watched comes from ABC7, who's kind of cemented themselves as the big boys on the block when it comes to police chase coverage. They're like the NFL red zone of police chases. They're always among the first on the scene, and the guy you heard doing the play-by-play commentary is like the John Madden here of casting police chases. His name's Chris. Dude's a fucking legend. He gets super hyped during these things as well and just lets out actual giddy excitement sometimes when broadcasting it. So it's a fantastic combo. They're a great team. I'm convinced Chris even lives in the helicopter that they broadcast from because he is always ready at the drop of a hat to follow a police chase around. But what I actually want to talk about isn't just, you know, police chases and how entertaining they are to watch sometimes. It's actually to talk about something very different. Since I've watched quite a few police chases and have enjoyed the ones I've seen, people are under the impression that I like to watch them live as they're unfolding. You know, I want to be on the front lines and catch all of the action as it's happening. So I'll have a lot of people come into my Twitch streams and start alerting me to the fact that another chase is going on, trying to get me to watch it. Kind of like a fucking Amber Alert sounding like letting me know, Charles, police chase. Stop everything and watch it. It's go time. But here's the reality of it. I don't like watching police chases live, and the reason for that is very simple. Because the police chases I like to watch are the ones that don't end in tragedy with like someone dying or some shit. I watch the ones that have very silly endings, or the whole thing is very goofy and no one ends up getting like seriously injured or anything like that. I don't like the ones that end with someone dying or other people getting hurt. So I don't like watching those, and when you're watching a police chase live, anything can happen. For example, earlier this week there was a very popular police chase that people were watching, and towards the end of it, the suspect that was being pursued opened the driver's side door while they were still speeding and being chased. They jumped out of the vehicle and hit their head on the pavement, which killed him. So he hit his head on the pavement and then continued to ragdoll across the concrete, the asphalt, and he died from the injuries. That is not a police chase that I would have enjoyed watching. So that's just always the risk associated with watching something like that live, which is why I don't do that. I wait until it's concluded and know for sure that all parties involved are okay. I don't like to take that kind of risk. Now, a lot of people have said, well, why don't you just, go back 2 or 3 minutes into the stream so that way you're on a delay, so if something like that does happen, you can just exit. it doesn't really make it any better, because then I still know that the person there dies from whatever happens towards the end, and that whole chase was leading up to a tragedy. That wouldn't feel good. There's nothing entertaining there. That shit just sucks at that point. So I just always like to make sure that any chase I watch is one that has resolved in a fashion where nobody's seriously injured or anything like that. And I wanted to explain that because this happens every single day now, since police chases are so common in LA, since I guess that place out there has turned into fucking Twisted Metal. I guess every single day you're on the road, you're taking the risk of getting fucking blasted by someone that's engaged in a high-speed police pursuit. So there's always these chases going on, so I'm always getting told this every single day, but I just don't like watching them live. It's that simple. And I wanted to explain that because I feel like a lot of people don't realize that or haven't heard me say that before, so I wanted to make it as clear as possible. I'd also like to take a minute to just send my best wishes to anyone who drives a car in LA. You're out there in like an actual fucking war zone, it seems, with people on these high-speed pursuits every goddamn day. At least 6 a day. So stay safe out there, and man, what a crazy sport these chases have become, huh? Wild shit. But anyway, that's really about it. So yeah.
Für die Allianz!
These artists' careers were never the same after one incident, whether it was from their own terrible decisions or a minor misstep that got blown out of proportion. Today we are going to discuss them all, starting with Macklemore, who leaked a text message that made everyone question what they thought they knew about him. In 2012 and 2013, you could not go anywhere without hearing the song Thrift Shop. Far from your typical rap song, Macklemore flexed $20 and had suburban moms dancing to his funky saxophone. This song spent 6 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Mac had one-hit wonder written all over him. He carried the most stereotypical white rapper image that is perceived as corny by hip-hop culture, but he proved everyone wrong with his second hit, Can't Hold Us, which spent 5 weeks at the #1 spot. This track was definitely more of a standard pop track, but 2 Billboard #1s in his first year as a mainstream artist stamped that he was a force to be reckoned with. However, it was all about to come crashing down, as Macklemore would suffer from success. At the 2014 annual Grammy Awards, Macklemore was nominated in 7 categories, the biggest and most prestigious being Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song. After winning Best Rap Performance and Best New Artist, people were happy to see him win 2 Grammys. Nominated for Best Rap Song up against Drake.
People that like Macklemore, in chat, am I crazy thinking that The Heist was better than whatever came afterwards? I think The Heist was peak Macklemore, and then it was kind of dog shit, to be honest.
Kanye West, Jay-Z, it seemed unlikely Macklemore would win, but Thrift Shop was in fact the winner of Best Rap Song of 2014, securing him his 3rd Grammy of the night. But what would come next would shock the world.
If you listen to The Heist and you liked it, you don't know who the fuck Macklemore is afterwards. It's like a completely different guy.
Up against Drake's Nothing Was the Same, Jay-Z's Magna Carta, Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid Mad City, and Kanye West's Yeezus, Macklemore had absolutely no chance of winning. Everyone was betting on Kendrick since he without a doubt had the best album of the bunch, but wouldn't be entirely surprised if it went to the other nominees. The hip-hop community was floored when Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist won Best Rap Album of the Year. The Heist couldn't be a more fitting name for this absolute robbery. Macklemore was being cooked by the hip-hop community online, reminding him in every comment section that he didn't deserve to win. He felt so much pressure that he decided to text Kendrick Lamar and apologize. "You got robbed. I wanted you to win. You should have. It's weird and sucks that I robbed you. I was gonna say that during the speech, then the music started playing during my speech and I froze. Anyway, you know what it is. Congrats on this year and your music. Appreciate you as an artist and as a friend. Much love." We wouldn't have ever seen this text if Macklemore didn't post it to social media, which made it even worse and looked like he was just trying to get in the good graces with the public.
Did you ever feel any way about him posting the text message or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it was uncalled for, to be 100 with you. When he sent it to me, I was like, okay, I could see him feeling that type of way because he a good dude. But I think for confirmation from the world, you know, he probably felt like he had to put it out there, which he didn't need to do. But they don't take nothing away from him anyway, because I know where his heart is at, he cool.
Despite Kendrick being cordial and saying that Macklemore
I don't think you understand this. Public statement. A public statement is completely different than a private message, and then it being put out in the way that it's written. That's the problem, man. Is that since a text message, screenshot, send, and the way that it's written is just really like personally weird. And it's not supposed to be getting in chat being weird about like my Kai thing. And there's not a public statement and appreciate for somebody else in a bad fucking year. Nothing to do with any of this shit.
meant well, hip-hop fans could never truly accept Macklemore as a part of the culture. They thought he was disingenuous, and they didn't really like his music in the first place, so this was an easy excuse to forget about him. He stepped out of the limelight, and many people suggest his music was never as ambitious ever again. He felt guilt, and that guilt ate him alive. His 2016 album, This Unruly Mess I Made, sold just 61,000 copies in the first week. Him and Ryan Lewis split up shortly after, and Mac released another solo album, Gemini, that did decent amongst his fan base, but ultimately, he hasn't had any major mainstream success in almost a decade. But unlike Macklemore, DaBaby refused to apologize to anyone, which is leading to one of the dumbest downfalls of all time. Baby exploded onto the mainstream rap scene in 2019 with his hit song Suge, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. In a world of repetitive melodic trap, DaBaby felt fresh and exciting, providing us with bouncy and fun bangers. He dominated for the next 2 years, constantly having multiple singles on the Billboard Hot 100, and he was in regular rotation on the radio. His track Rockstar with Roddy Ricch was the #1 song for 7 weeks straight, a very tough thing to do as a hip-hop artist. But DaBaby was always known for having a bold personality. He was the type to say whatever he wanted, and if you had a problem, he was more than willing to handle it. He even killed a guy in Walmart. Don't worry, it was self-defense. Well, in July of 2021, on the stage at Rolling Loud, his loose lips got him in major trouble. Maybe some that he can't recover from.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air. Fellas, lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air.
Completely unprovoked and for no reason at all, DaBaby was thinking about gay men and what they do in their free time while he was on stage performing. He referred to people with AIDS as...
But why did he start cooking out of nowhere? Did he just cook out of left field?
dirty and will likely die soon from the illness. Both statements are categorically and factually untrue. The clip was shared onto the internet and sent millions of people into an uproar. DaBaby addressed this on his Instagram and clarified his message.
I wasn't going on no rant. That's called a call to action. That's what that's called. I'm a live performer. I'm a place. Live performer. I'm a live still killer. You interact with your fans. You get what I'm saying? Look.
Wait, that's worse.
You wanna know why? Because even my gay fans don't got fucking AIDS, stupid ass nigga.
Him doubling down on his comments made everything way worse, as he clearly was very uneducated on the AIDS disease and the unfair stigmas that come with it. And although he eventually issued an apology addressing the LGBTQ community, he had made countless contradictory statements after. He tried to profit off the controversy in music videos and even kind of redacted his own apology.
If I say what I say to get people to raise their cell phones and it's misinterpreted by people who watch a 5-second clip at home, you're not supposed to understand what's going on. You couldn't raise your cell phone if you wanted to, so you ain't supposed to be able to digest a clip, you know what I'm saying? A clip that has been altered and shortened with a narrative to go along with it, with enough people driving it, it's gonna do what it do.
From here, he got...
Is he justifying that he said what is that about gay people and sucking dick because he wanted to give people their phones up?
Don't end up like me.
Is that like a motive to get the phones up?
Kicked off every major festival in 2021 that he was supposed to perform at, and even when he did perform, he was booed and had garbage thrown at him. A-list celebrities and fellow collaborators condemned him, but the controversy continued. He got into fights, tormented and broke down the mother of his child on Instagram, tried to kiss one of his fans without consent. DaBaby was not trying to save face. He just kept saying, "I'm sorry for being me." His ticket sales plummeted, which resorted to him offering buy one get one free deals to fill out the venues. One report alleged that he only sold 500 tickets to a venue that holds 14,000 people, and he claims to have lost $30 million because of the controversy.
Like what were the L's?
A week or two after,
$30 million, $30 million that I would have had before the ball dropped 2021. So this happened rolling out with July. I had $30 million worth of shows on the schedule before December 31st.
All he had to say was, put your hands in the air if you just don't care, and all of this could have been avoided. But if you think what DaBaby said was bad, you'll be horrified by what CeeLo Green said in a series of questionable tweets. If you don't remember the name CeeLo Green or his previous duo Gnarls Barkley, you definitely remember his two most iconic songs, Crazy and Forget You. Crazy peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 29 weeks on the chart. Forget You, which he released solo 4 years later, also went number 2 on the Hot 100 after spending almost a full year on the charts. CeeLo had a very unique voice and was undeniably talented. He pretty much only gave us 2 hits, but was an ever-present pop culture figure throughout the early 2010s. Whether he was hosting an award show, his own reality show, voice acting, or being a judge on The Voice, CeeLo was loved and appreciated, until some shocking allegations arose. CeeLo was accused by a 33-year-old woman he dined with at a downtown Los Angeles sushi restaurant of placing ecstasy, also known as MDMA or Molly, in her drink. The woman later told Los Angeles police detectives she woke up naked in bed in her hotel room with Green. CeeLo allegedly admitted to law enforcement that he took ecstasy, but denied drugging the woman's drink or committing sexual assault. CeeLo's sexual assault...
Wait. Okay, guys, listen. I'm in no way... Okay, listen. With the information I am given here, okay? With this, with what I'm looking at, I'm not downplaying it, I promise. Okay? Okay, she says that X was placed in her drink, and then she woke up. It must have been something else, and I feel like if it is something else, it should be written here in the complaint or in the reports. No? MDMA does not make you do that. I don't know what the fuck they're consuming. That shit does not make you do that.
Or Molly in her drink. The woman later told Los Angeles police detectives she woke up naked in bed in her hotel room with Green. CeeLo allegedly admitted to
Bro, even if he's fucking done a whole gram of it, this doesn't happen. Quite the opposite.
Law enforcement that he took ecstasy, but denied drugging the woman's drink or committing sexual assault. CeeLo's sexual assault charges were dropped after prosecutors concluded there wasn't enough evidence to take that accusation to court, but he was found guilty on drug charges, which landed him 3 years probation. But it wasn't the nature of the charges that ruined his career, it's what he said on Twitter after the case. After being criticized by people in public tweets, he decided to respond. Women who have really been R-worded, remember, but point taken. So if I tried but did not succeed, but the person said I did, then what really happened?
What?
When someone breaks in a home...
He said what?
Really been R-worded, remember, but point taken. So if I tried but did not succeed, but the person said I did, then what really happened? When someone breaks in a home, there is broken glass. Where is your plausible proof anyone was R-worded? If someone passed out, they're not even with you consciously, so with implies consent. It's hard to...
Okay, who let the man cook? Who is it? It's gotta be somebody. Somebody let him cook, because this guy is on the...
See what point he was trying to make here, but the blogs were not holding back. CeeLo, it's not if you forget. CeeLo Green, it isn't if the victim is unconscious. After these tweets, his reputation was destroyed. He lost all of his live performance bookings, he quit The Voice to avoid being fired, his TV show was canceled, and he basically disappeared from the pop culture zeitgeist, pretty much surviving off royalties and small film roles here and there.